Hey friends, so in the last video we learned what are repositories and created our recipe repositories. So in this video we will create another view model which will be called recipe view model, and that will represent each single row in this table view. So we will start by creating our view model. I'll create a new file and name it as recipe item view model, and then we'll just create a class with the same name. And in this one we will have very similar properties that we had in our recipe model, but we will combine certain properties into a single one. So if you look into our application, you see that we have three main components. So the first one is this image, and then the second one is this label, and the third one is this text below the label, which shows the publisher, the website, and the social score. So in our recipe item view model, we will basically represent these three things. So let's open that and create those three things. The first will be recipe title. It will be of type string. Second one will be recipe subtitle, again a string. And third one will be recipe image URL, again a string. So how we will assign the values to these three properties will be, we will have another private variable which will be of type recipe model, and we will take this recipe in our initializer, and then these will be basically just you'll say computed properties that will just return the recipe title, and the recipe subtitle will return a combination of the publisher, the published ID, and the social score. So what we will do here is we will just return a string in which we will combine these three things, and do /n in the next line. In here we will have recipe published ID, and then again we will have, so here like we did in this one, we'll just copy paste the string part, and the image will be simply the image URL. So how we will use this is we will go to our we will go to our recipes view model, and in here, instead of having an array of recipes, we will have an array of recipe item view model. And while assigning the recipes to the recipes view model, the property, we will just map it, and we will convert recipe item view model, and here we will take the first parameter of this closure. And now if you try to compile, you will see an error which will be here. And to simplify this thing, what we will do is we'll just cut this and go into our recipe table view cell and create a method here which we will name as bind, which will take we'll name it view model, and it will be of type recipe item view model, and paste those three things. And we don't need this cell because these three are properties of this view model itself. And now you just have to do, wherever you see recipe, just replace it with view model. And if you try to compile, I'll say recipe title, and then we don't need any of this. I'll say subtitle recipe image URL. So the whole thing has been simplified quite a bit. And then in our view controller, we will say cell.bind, and we will pass the recipe. So this is basically the recipe view model. This is not the recipe here. Now let's try running it. So now you can see that everything is working as it is, but we have simplified our code. So instead of having the logic to format the content that has to be displayed on each row of this table view, we have passed that responsibility to the recipe table view cell. And even for the formatting of the content or for combining of the content, we have passed that responsibility to recipe item view model. So this is another use case of view models, where this view model is exposing just those three properties that are required by the view. So if you see that in the recipe table view, we have mainly three properties or three views, which is an image view and two labels. And these require the title, the subtitle, and the URL of the image. So basically, to represent the views data, we are creating a view model, and both have almost the same number of views and corresponding properties. So that is how view models can simplify your code and remove the formatting logic from your view controllers into view models. I hope you enjoyed this video. We will meet you in the next video. Thank you.